Making an evenstar lamp for my room just makes sense. When I was 12, I watched Lord of the Rings every day. Putting it together took less than a day. Most of the work involved doing the design. You ever just have one of those projects where you feel like a sim/NPC walking infinitely into a wall while still moving your legs somehow? The first part of this process definitely felt like that.
So when you take it apart, the design elements of this thing are pretty simple. There's these metal leaves in the background, the stones in the front, and then this twisty wire bit that goes around the sides. Also, I want to add some lights. First, I traced the pendant, took measurements of the different design elements. Then I used this Hogwarts acceptance letter to do some back-of-the-envelope calculations to scale up all the measurements.
I scaled it up to 12 by 12.
Once I had the scaled up measurements established, I was ready to start making part 1. The metal leaves. Now, I haven't worked much with metal, but I was inspired by cosplayers who use aluminum to make their armor, so I decided to use that. Now, in order to cut the aluminum, I needed to make a design that my brother's CNC cutting machine could read. So I made a paper mock-up, took a photo of the mock-up, dropped it in Photoshop, used the pen tool to make a vector file that the CNC machine could read. This one came out okay, but I thought I could do better, so I made it again. I was happier with the general shape of this version of the design, but the lines weren't pointy enough.
These hobbit fingies were just too...
So then I thought, maybe I need a stylus to make the ends of the lines pointier. But I don't have a stylus, so maybe I can make one. First, find a Q-tip, a ballpoint pen, some aluminum foil, and some cute washi tape. Take the pen apart, snip the Q-tip, put it in the end of the pen, wrap it up in aluminum foil, wrap it in some cute tape, because cute, and then dip it in some tea. Wait. This actually worked? Okay, cool. But wait, it's still not pointy enough?
It wasn't pointy enough. I don't know how else to describe it except that it wasn't.
Okay.
It was 1 a.m. at this point. After making all these different drafts, I started over the final time using Easel, which is a software anyone can use. It's browser-based. You don't have to download anything. Taught myself how to use this program. Finished the design, sent it off to my brother. Was to cut the aluminum and send it to me by Saturday.
I'm also going to need you to go ahead and come in on Sunday.
And we were off. The leaves and metalworking out of the way, I could move on to the crystals.
I forgot to put in the crystals.
Much like the elusive Arkenstone,
Was as winding and refracting as
one of those Instagram mental health memes about grief. Anyway, there's 2 cuts of gems on the evenstar pendant, the marquee cut and the pear cut. Finding stones that the size I needed was surprisingly difficult. I went on a quest to the fires of Mount Doom, of course, and came back lacking. When I couldn't find the cartoonishly large gemstones that I was seeking, I proceeded to watch 3 hours of tutorials on casting resin. Here's why I was hesitant. First, it's hard to get resin to dry clear. From what I was reading, it seems like it tends to set up with bubbles or will be a bit foggy. 2, I like to use recycled or upcycled materials whenever I can. It gives me a shire, earthling hobbit feeling, and it also appeals to my sense of efficiency, the part of myself that drives a clown car, etc. 3, it seemed fitting to use something old and glamorous because Arwen is both old and glamorous. 4, I needed something that was designed to carry light, refract it. That thing was old chandelier pieces. Called around town to a few different chandelier shops, of which LA has more than one. Perks of living in a megapolis. Mostly got voicemail.
Hi, thank you so much for calling me back.
It's
I don't have extra chandelier pieces. You should go next door.
Now I love a moment like this where a small business is supporting another small business. It's sort of
They can help you out next door.
it's so wholesome and Shire vibes. If the Shire had capitalism, which we don't really... we know that Bilbo is rich, but there's not really any mention of money. It seems like mostly a bartering society. Anyways, I went after work, which meant that I only had 30 minutes before they closed to find the pieces that I needed. Imagine a Victorian library complete with slidey ladder, but instead of books, doorknobs. Now, hear me out.
They're old doorknobs.
They came from mansions long gone by. There's Art Deco handles and hinges and drawer pulls that are from the Gilded Age, a whole room full of old-timey fake candle sconces, and in the very, very far back, a tiny room packed with thousands of prisms of all shapes and sizes. I found the pieces I needed. It was Wednesday and I really wanted to finish this. In general, I'm trying to be better about finishing stuff instead of perfecting things. This channel was mostly just a place for me to put my music videos for my band, Ings, and I'm still like a musician. I still make music. I'm excited to share some of these making projects with you all because it's a huge part of the music videos that I have made simply because I couldn't afford to hire anyone. I just ended up making a lot of props and like sewing costumes. That being said, if you're enjoying this video, please lend me your thumbs and give it a thumbs up. I promise not to chomp your thumbs off, Gollum style. Also, you have infinite thumbs. You're kind of like humans with infinite ability to like videos and support the content they enjoy. It's sort of akin to like lizards whose tails can grow back endlessly. There are very few infinite resources in this realm, and likes are one of them. So if you don't like my video today, please go like a bunch of other videos at least. And also subscribe if you want to see more of this type of stuff, because my goal is to post twice a month. Back to the video. At this point, I had completed steps 1 and 2. I was on to step 3, assembling the components. Now something really nice happened. The leaves that my brother had cut for me arrived one day early. It was a holiday weekend, so I had the whole weekend to work on this project before returning to my day job on Tuesday. Set all my supplies up on my floor and set to work. First, I rescored the leaves to emphasize the leaf veins, experimented with sanding using the veritable treasure trove of sandpaper that my kind brother sent me, bent this leftover solder into the loop shape. Then I spent an inordinate amount of time arranging the gemstones such as to best serve the angles that they were at in the pendant. Initially, I wasn't really happy with how that was going, and I considered, like, should I go back to the store to find smaller ones that I would be able to manipulate and not have to stack them up, realizing that they wouldn't be open until Tuesday because of the weekend. I was like, I just kind of want to finish this, do the best that I can with what I have. Yeah, so then I just started hot gluing everything together. I glued the leaves together, then I glued the looped wire onto the leaves, and then I glued the glass pieces as closely as I could to the design of the pendant. And it worked pretty well. I ran out of hot glue, dashed to Michael's 10 minutes before they closed, got some hot glue. Then it was time to find some lights. I had like some lights laying around from my merch table setup. The really cool thing about these lights is that you can just like cut them to be whatever length you need them to be for your project. They also hot glued pretty well onto the aluminum. So then I was like polishing and sanding it some more, and I watched Jurassic World.
Why, if I have to see Chris Pratt do his hand play in one more piece of media, also, what's the backhand doing?
With my personal fellowship of nerds, we've been watching movies remotely for like the last 130 weeks. Wait, what was the fourth step? First step, doing the design, gathering the crystals, putting it all together. Oh yeah, the fourth step is just zhuzhing, just straight up nano zhuzhes, micro adjustments. In my experience, with every DIY project, the last 29% of labor is literally just zhuzhing and making micro adjustments that no one else will ever notice. Yeah, again, I was trying to finish it, so at first I was like kind of unhappy with how it was coming together, and then I took a break, ate a snack, and was like, maybe this will actually turn out okay. It's really good to zoom out and get perspective, especially when you're so close to the finish line. So with all of that in mind, here's the finished product. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and I'm excited to have this on my wall when all other lights go out. Wait, that's the light of Arendelle, the light of Perendelle. If you made it this far, thank you for watching. Smash that like button. Actually, gently tap that like button as if you were petting the snoot of a very, very, very good dog. Perfect for the Rivendell rave. Lothloridium. California good times, come on. Okay, now which song is this? Na, na, na. think about this. If there was like palantirs, but like hundreds of palantirs, and they were all a bunch of different sizes, like wouldn't that be so cool?